Skyward Sword will undoubtedly be Link's last foray on the Wii. Does this departure live up to the immense hype, or does Nintendo deliver a solid, yet lacking game in one of history's greatest franchises? The presentation of Skyward Sword is a combination of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, and it's amazing. The entire world looks like it's watercolored. Shadows are soft, yet everything looks crisp at the same time. I'm not exactly sure how Nintendo pulled this off, but it's most impressive. The audio is another plus. The world sounds alive as the wind rustles leaves, grass sways, bugs fly around, and water rushes past you in streams. Each clang of your sword or battle cry of an enemy reverberates through your ears. But the best thing is hands down the music. This is the first Zelda game to have a fully orchestrated score, and it is truly some of the most beautiful and moving music I've ever heard in a video game. I know that Koji Kano composed the music, but I could easily see John Williams directing the orchestra. My one and only real gripe with the presentation is that it's not in HD, which is a real shame because it would be like moving artwork if I could see it on my big HD TV. Let's just hope that the Wii U will be able to up-convert Skyward Sword. While the visuals leave you in awe and the music makes your ears cry with joy, the best aspect of Skyward Sword is, without a doubt, the gameplay. When we first saw the Wii in action many moons ago, we had an idea in our mind of what we would be able to do with it. It took Nintendo 5 years, but my god are the motion controls sublime. Everything is extremely responsive and pinpoint accurate. Whenever I had to pull the legendary sword out of its pedestal, I first had to turn the Wiimote downwards, then press A, and then pull upwards as if I was literally reaching down, grabbing, and pulling up the sword. It may sound silly, but it's just one of numerous small experiences that really stuck with me. It's just a shame that it took us this long to get what we really wanted out of the Wii. Imagine if all the developers took this time and care with its controls. What amazing games we would have today. I have truly been spoiled on these controls, and I can't imagine playing another Zelda game without them. But it isn't just the swordplay that works. It's opening doors, using the slingshot or bow, one of the new items, the beetle, which has quickly become my favorite Zelda item. They all work perfectly and exactly how you would want them to work. Now, as much as I'm loving the controls, it does have its hiccups. But thankfully, Nintendo has rectified these problems with two solutions. One, when you start the game, you must sync the Wii Motion Plus. It takes about 10 seconds, but it gets the thing centered. Two, if you're trying to aim and the reticule is off, all you have to do is hit down on the D-pad and the reticule will center itself on the screen. As with any Zelda game, the general gameplay centers around entering dungeons or temples around Hyrule, gathering special items, and then defeating the end boss. But Skyward Sword is definitely some of the most challenging temples I've run across. They aren't hard gameplay-wise, but it definitely took me some time to figure out the puzzles.
You'll also notice a green circle next to Link whenever he swings or does any type of athletic ability. This is the new stamina circle. Whenever it drains, he's weakened and he has to catch his breath. So it also gives a new challenge of whenever you're climbing up vines or attacking enemies, you have to be careful not to exert yourself.
When you aren't battling giant monsters, there are tons of side quests you can do. One of the biggest changes in Skyward compared to other Zelda titles is the ability to upgrade your equipment. You can make your shield stronger, craft a larger bomb bag, etc. You gather items from around the world, such as amber, lizard tails, or skulls, and take them to the crafts inside the Skyloft Bazaar. You'll also purchase or you could find pendants in the world. These pendants could increase the number of hearts you find, or place markers on the map of where you find bugs. And that brings me to the bug collecting aspect of Skyward. I never thought using a bug net and capturing insects would be fun, but with the Wii Motion Plus, I found myself one time spending 30 minutes just catching butterflies around the forest temple. If we're still trying to piece together some sort of cohesive Zelda timeline, then Skyward Sword must be near the beginning, because it gives us some very interesting origin tales. The game begins with you in a floating island known as Skyloft. The people of Skyloft travel using these giant birds, and today is your test to see if you'll become a knight of Skyloft. The test is simple. It's a race among the other knight applicants to see who can get a statue first. The winner gets to be the knight, and he also gets to have a private flight around Skyloft with Zelda. Of course you win the competition, but during your flight with Zelda, a giant tornado throws both of you off your birds. While you are rescued, Zelda falls into the clouds to the world below. It's your job to find and bring her back to Skyloft. But not everything is as it seems, and a hidden plot unfolds. Once again, Skyward Sword keeps the tradition of zero voice acting. While I normally would find it outdated compared to other games, the way Nintendo animates its extremely eclectic cast of characters makes the lack of voice acting not really a problem. I mean, I've never heard the voice of Bruce, but in my mind I can hear exactly what he would sound like. And the fact that I can connect with these characters so deeply just goes to prove that when it comes to pure storytelling, Nintendo really is in another league of their own. It really is hard for me to find any major problems with Skyward Sword. I mean, the biggest gripe I have is the fact that it's not presented in HD. I've played all of the other Zelda games, and Skyward Sword ranks at the top, if not taking over the #1 spot entirely. I've never had this much fun on the Wii, and Skyward Sword just makes me wonder, with this prime example of perfected motion controls, what will the other developers for the Wii and the Wii U do in the future? This is truly Link's finest adventure ever.